Year-old Paul Ulrich was working in his basement when the house near 12 Mile exploded. A neighbor who heard and felt the explosion from a mile away was able to get Ulrich out of the debris and fire. He's been taken to a trauma center in Fort Wayne, where he's currently in critical condition. Cass County Sheriff Ed Schroeder says the focus now turns to finding out how it happened.
We have detectives here from Logansport Police Department for some drone footage, as well as detectives from the Cass County Sheriff's Office, and we're waiting on an investigator from the State Fire Marshal's Office to come and conduct their investigation into the cause of this incident.
Mr. Ulrich's nephew says the home had been in the family since 1809. Ulrich was the only person inside at the time. Turning now to weather, Storm Team 18 Chief Meteorologist Chad Evans joins us. He's got some isolated thunderstorms still kind of lingering in the area. Otherwise, Chad, pretty nice afternoon.
Yeah, and warm too. Pretty humid. Temperatures running well into the 70s. Some places pushing 80, though it's a rain-cooled 67 at Winnemac. We've had these scattered showers and thunder showers bubbling up with the upper low right over Lake Michigan right now. And when you've got this spin around and you've got the warming, so the clouds are building up, and the spin of the upper low, you can get a few funnels that develop. And we've had a few funnels today, these little rope type funnels. This is from Randy Rogers. This was taken near Clinton Central High School of a funnel there. These rarely touch down, but you will see some of these rope funnels, and in a rare instance they dip down and may produce very brief crop damage or tree damage, and that is it. All caused by the vorticity or the spin of the upper low combined with the heating we're getting today, allowing these scattered showers and thunder showers to bubble up. Not so much going on down in our southwest counties. It's mainly the northeast half of the viewing area. They're bubbling up around Logansport, Peru, Rochester, back to Winnemac, and we've had a few here in eastern Clinton County to Howard County. Everything's kind of rotating to the east, northeast. Keep in mind, there is the risk of a funnel or two right up to sunset, and then eventually the spotty showers and thunder showers will come to an end. So for kickoff this evening, be aware of that. 75 for the Friday Night Frenzy, down to 66 for the drive home. We'll have the complete weekend outlook that's very summer-like coming up.
All right, Chad, thank you. Happening tomorrow, dedication for the Abby and Libby Memorial Park. This comes 4 years after Abigail Williams and Liberty German were killed in Delphi. The dedication kicks off at noon and lasts until 6 p.m. on Saturday. The different parts of the park represent Abby and Libby's passions, including softball, music performance, and being outdoors. The park was largely made possible through donations. Abby's grandfather, Eric Erskine, says the park will help Abby and Libby's memories live on.
Physical things, property, whatever it might be, will never replace the girls we lost. And so it's kind of bittersweet, I guess, if you will, that it's hard to define, but the park allows us to take some of those energies and spin it into something positive.
The park is located just off the Hoosier Heartland Highway, a mile north of Delphi. The address is 6062 State Road 218 West in Delphi. The Indiana Department of Environmental Management is investigating a second spill in less than 2 weeks at a U.S. steel plant in Portage. An oily sheen was detected on the water last night on a Lake Michigan tributary. A U.S. Steel spokeswoman says it was contained to an estimated 120 square foot area. As News 18 previously reported, the same plant discharged iron-tainted wastewater into the Burns waterway late last month. The U.S. job market was red hot this summer, with the economy adding more than 1 million jobs in July. But since then, things have cooled significantly. And as Bradley Blackburn explains, the latest numbers, those are disappointing.
The ongoing worker shortage was in full view during this recent job fair at a Northern California mall. Several retailers were there to recruit new employees, but only a handful of job seekers showed up.
We've seen a lot of kind of foot traffic, but nobody really stopping by.
Across the nation, there are around 11 million job openings, and last month hiring slowed again. U.S. employers added just 194,000 jobs in September, far below expectations. The unemployment rate dropped from 5.2 to 4.8%.
This was a really disappointing report. It was anemic.
CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says many people who left the workforce during the pandemic are still reconsidering their careers.
There are many jobs that remain unfilled simply because people are not willing to go back for the wages that are being offered.
That has employers nationwide coming up with new incentives to attract workers. Pechanga Resort and Casino in Southern California is offering signing bonuses to fill more than 200 vacant positions.
Never in my career have we seen such a demand in the workforce.
New cooks can get $2,500. Richie Adelan sees the opportunity.
You got to love your job. You got to love what you do. I mean, I love doing that.
Businesses hope more workers find a new love for their job and come back to work. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
And in a public address this afternoon, President Joe Biden responded to that report by focusing on the positives. He said in part, quote, "For the first time since March of 2020, the unemployment rate is below 5%, end quote. Well, the ongoing transition to electric vehicles could mean disaster or redemption for local manufacturers. That's what experts said today during a conference at Purdue University. The conference was organized by the Dauch Center for the Management of Manufacturing Enterprises. Purdue professor and supply chain expert Ananth Iyer was among several industry experts putting their heads together on Friday to find solutions. Iyer says more than 500 companies manufacture internal combustion components in Tippecanoe and surrounding counties.
And we found about 130 of those companies make components that will no longer be required with the EV. That is, they make engine components, transmission components, etc. So that's the worry.
Iyer says companies must switch to manufacturing different components or serving different industries to survive. North America is projected to transition to EVs by 2032. Well, Big Ten Media Days have been held over the last 2 days in Indianapolis. The Purdue Boilermakers took to the stage today, sharing their thoughts on the upcoming season. Sports 18's Bree Shackelford is in Indianapolis right now. She shares with us what took place today. Bree?
I'm in front of Gamebridge Fieldhouse right now, and I am here for the Big Ten Basketball Media Days today that took place. And it was so nice seeing all the coaches and the players talk in person this time with us about how excited they were for this upcoming season and what you can expect from their teams. It was especially great to hear from head coach of the women's basketball team, Katie Geralds. It's safe to say that the women's basketball team has undergone a lot of change right before the season is about to start. New head coach Katie Gerald says she knew she was going to step in to fill the role of head coach at some point, but never expected it to be so soon.
My head is above water, my feet are moving really fast underneath, I know that. Emotionally, it's been a roller coaster for everybody, but I knew going in March or April that that the transition was going to happen. It just happened sooner than everybody expected, and I'm ready. I'm ready to grab this thing by the horns, and we're going to run with it.
Even though the change was sudden, Gerald says she's ready to help move the program forward. One way she is moving forward is by cultivating a new environment for her team. She says she wants to create a more competitive environment for her players. That way, on game day, they're ready to fight with everything they got.
We want to have a team that competes every day, and we want to have a team that's hard to beat. When you're hard to beat, you're going to take care of games at home. You're going to win games on the road that you're supposed to win. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to lead my alma mater. But with that opportunity comes a huge responsibility. And I take a lot of pride in making sure we continue to work our tails off to make Purdue proud again.
Gerald says this new experience will be unlike anything she's done before. She adds she cannot wait to see where this program will go. The first time you can catch the women's team in action will be on November 7th as they take on Finlay. Now, coming up for you tonight at 6, you'll hear from head coach Matt Painter about what he expects with his team this upcoming year. Reporting in Indianapolis, Bree Shackelford, Sports 18.
All right, Bree, thank you very much. Well, Manufacturing Week wrapped up at the Tippecanoe County Fairgrounds today. We'll hear what kinds of valuable experience the event provided for students across the viewing area coming up. And we're looking out for your money, and our financial expert has 2 things you need to know. about right now when it comes to that extra cash you might be getting from Uncle Sam.
You're watching News 18 at 5. News from where you live.
Welcome back. Today marked the end of Manufacturing Week for students in our area. Throughout the week, 1,300 students from Tippecanoe and surrounding counties in grades K through 8 took part in hands-on activities at the Tippecanoe County Fairgrounds. Since 2014, hundreds of students have taken part each year, starting with a group of 300 to a now growing 4,000 participants. The program, organized by Greater Lafayette Commerce, encourages students to consider alternate career pathways. Kara Webb says their goal is to bring awareness to the variety of products manufactured right here in our area.
We are food manufacturing, metal manufacturing, car manufacturing, and large engine. We make lie detector tests or testing machines here. Nucor Steel in Montgomery County, Ball Corporation in White County.
A free manufacturing month offered remotely is also available online to students in all grades. For more information, you can visit this story on our website at WLFI.com. Well, today our financial expert has advice for families who are getting extra money from the child tax credit. It could range from a few $100s to more than $1,000. Well, the big question, what should people do with that extra cash? Our expert says you should consider saving it, but you might need to be looking at the bigger picture come tax time in 2022.
So two things you got to be careful of is that if they're giving it to you now, your 2021 taxes may actually be a little bit higher because you won't have that child tax credit being deducted against your taxes when you do it then. And another thing too, if you're used to getting a big refund, your refund might not be as high as it was last year just because they've been giving this child tax credit early as opposed to later on.
Well, for a look at some of the best financial tidbits, you can head to our website, WLFI.com.
And now, your Storm Team 18 forecast. Weather from where you live.
There's your upper low spinning right here, and there are the scattered showers and thunder showers around. Can't rule out a couple funnels right up to sunset this evening. Right now, most of the scattered showers, thunder showers are in the northeast half of the viewing area, especially kind of concentrating along 24 from Logansport all the way to Peru, a couple around Rochester and also Winamac right as we speak. Couple showers here just around Monticello, not so much though a little farther to the south, and a few more up here in Newton and Jasper counties. As the low lifts away and things diminish, watch for some fog later on tonight. Then the warmth comes in tomorrow, near record warmth tomorrow and Sunday. This storm system will deepen in the plains. A lot of severe weather out here by Sunday and into Monday. And as the storm pivots up like this, it'll pull a front kind of skimming through the area that'll bring some storms to us by late Monday afternoon, Monday evening. Can't rule out a couple isolated severe storms. Then this storm dumps into the west, does a similar track like that, and a front will skim through on Thursday with a few storms, but no big cool down until after the 15th of October. Hour by hour, let's get your weekend planner going. Some fog tomorrow morning, then just partly cloudy, humid south-southeast breeze, and a very warm high tomorrow at 84, 82 Monticello, 83 Flora, generally 80 to 85 for highs, but notice the heat index. How about that? Mid 80s to near 90 degrees. Sunday, 84 to 88. The heat index, upper 80s to low 90s. Strong south wind. It'll be sustained 20 to 25. Gusts up around 30 miles an hour with a high of 86. And notice the morning low of 67 would tie the warmest morning low temperature of 67 set in 1904 and 2 degrees from the record high of 88 set in 1938. Records for West Lafayette back to 1879, and there are those highs at 84 to 88 viewing area wide. Now let's get Monday started. Another 84 to 88 degree day. Still heat into season, seasonally warm, upper 80s to low 90s. Some scattered storms in the late afternoon and evening. Can't rule out a couple of isolated severe storms embedded. And we're looking at a record warm morning. The record warm morning low is 66 set way back in 1880. We're going to break that record likely. And then the record high is 86 set in 2010. We will likely tie it. And there are the highs at 84 to 88, 86 Lafayette, Flora, Delphi, and about 85 at Fowler. So the weekend's dry. This is Saturday and this is into Sunday. We look fine, just partly cloudy. Monday, here are some of your storms that race through. Again, maybe a little broken squall line, a couple isolated severe storms with that, then a break, and then a few more storms come in by Thursday of next week. 70 forecast, normal high is 67, but 86 on Monday, still warm at 80 on Tuesday, and still running in the 80s next week with a few more storms on Thursday.